Hey everybody, welcome back to the Long Way YouTube channel. My name's Bucky. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We were all sitting in the shop the other day and the compressor kicked on and then all heck broke loose. So I'm going to kind of show you guys what happened. As you guys can see, things got a little bit hot. So once we got the power shut off over here, got to looking and got a few things going on, but I think we find the primary issue was that breaker finally let go and then just kind of blew up. So what we've got to do today is get this fixed, because this runs the whole east side of the shop. So me and Mama ran over to Lowe's and came up with another box, which we couldn't find one that matched exactly. We went with an 8 space or 16 circuit, which should cover everything we need to do. Then we went and bought the breakers we needed. We got a couple of 50s to run the air compressor and the welder and the cutoff and the plasma cutter. And we got some 15s and 30s to run the lights and the electrical panels for like the lathe and the lights. So that's everything we need to put back in. Now we need to get over there and figure out what all we need to take back out. We're gonna get over and get it tore out. All right, so we got to get over here and get everything kind of out of the way. Get some lights up over here so we can see. We got to get all the welders out of the way. We need to get the lathe out of the way. So our hole is 11 by 13, and right now this is 9, so we're going to have to probably going to have to take that top sheet off, which is no bueno. So we got to have to pull this piece off. So this is where you just embrace the suck and deal with it.
This is going to suck. And then you know what we do? We do it anyways.
That's what we're going to do. We're going to get everything kind of moved out of the way and get this piece of plywood pulled down. That way we've got room to do what we got to do the right way. So let's get after it. The next oil change for Pearl right here. We'll be doing that here in a couple days. That might be enough room to do it. Well, I think that's all of them. Well, that's a good sight, nothing weird. Awesome. That is some chunky goodness in there now. All kinds of toe up from the flow up. I believe this one here goes to the compressor. I think that's what this one here is for. This is the compressor line here, going over there. This right here I believe is for the welder. Yep, it's coming down right here to this plug right here. So it's our feed line, and then we have several. Okay, that's our feed and our ground. All right, so let's just get everything taken apart. All right, we'll start with the primary offender here. See what I need a little bit more light. Alright, that's going to be our primary O fender. As you guys can see, it's got a big hole blowed right here in the top of it. I don't know what blowed that hole on the top of it. Something to do with how it was locked into the breaker box. Got hot and melted or something. So once we get the other ones put in, we'll have to check the voltage draw on that compressor to make sure there's not something wrong with it that caused this. You don't want to put this whole thing back together and have something wrong with one of your motors, your electric motors, cause this to happen again. So very well we could be dealing with a symptom, not the actual issue. So this is for our welder. Let's get it pulled loose. The 15 amp, probably a light circuit. I think this is a light circuit here. So these two here are going to be our, not electrical, but our power outlets. Okay, power outlets that way. I believe this is our light circuit. I'm going to plug our light circuit in on an auxiliary source so we can have some lights here. Again, I'm going to reiterate, I got my lights on here, I'm going to take them off. If you guys are not experienced with power, do not do this. If you guys don't have any training at all with power, don't do this. I've been working with electricity. I'm in the telecommunications industry for almost 30 years. Been working with electricity my whole life.
Right.
So if you guys don't know what you're doing, don't do it. So we're going to hook up a temporary light source to run the lights over our heads like a light switch. And then we'll get this thing redone. Just want to throw that little caveat in there for you. Alright, we got us a little bit more light. Get this bad boy pulled apart. So all the yellow wires we have here are our outlets. Alright, so this is our air compressor. I figure this is the one that did the deed. This is our feed from the other side. This is going outside. This one here is going to the chicken coop. Chicken coop don't need no more heat or power, so we're not going to hook it back up. And this one here is going for the RV hookup outside. All right, so I think we got everything kind of figured out here, what goes where. Well, there we go. I would say that right there is probably what caused our problem. You guys can see it's pretty much foobarred. All nice and black. So now what we're going to do is we're going to clean every one of these wires up and we're going to check them for anything that might have caused this, anything that might have got somewhere it shouldn't have been. So that's what we're going to do now. I'm going to put you guys kind of on hold for a minute, and we'll get all these wires cleaned up. I don't see anything obvious that's burned through and shorted anything out. Nothing at all. So let's go ahead and start getting that other box. Yep, go ahead and get it framed in so we can put it on there the right way instead of halfway doing it. What you gonna have? Alright, so this right here, our bottom piece is going to set the height for us. So we're going to go ahead and redraw the hole for the compressor because it's a little bit off. So we're going to set it right here. I'm going to drill a hole right yonder. And then I'll do what we want to do. That ought to get us in there. Let's see what our guesstimation done for us here. Bad boy picked up, put in there. Yahtzee. That ought to do what we want to do. If we can knock just one of these out. There we go, we got one, yay! Well, I guess I better get my... Oh, it's already on there, never mind. Well, I guess we get to keep our job lined up right there like she's supposed to. Alrighty, so now let's knock out these screw holes and get some screws in there. Alrighty, so that's them two. Now we need to put one on coming from this way. Two at 22 and a half. See if we can round to a 22 and a half here. Alrighty, we need two at 22 and a half. 22.5 is right yonder. You guys ever done this before, but you can use this straight edge here to kind of make you a table saw. So you just take and put this square here, set that against it, move back till you see your line, and then you can basically not have to worry about making a straight cut. You can measure it again if you want to, or you can just take your piece, line it up flush, draw your line, then ensure that whenever you trace a line, you take the line. So we're going to set up to take the line, because when you're tracing, you're a pencil width off. So we're going to always take the line when we trace. Perfect. Can you dig it? Perfect, perfect. So I went and notched the back of that out so I could do that. All right, let's get some screws. Alrighty. How many screws can we drop at once? Alright, so I've got stepped away for a minute and I got the frame built in with space at the bottom and the top to bring wires in, and I've got the compressor line in and I've got the feed line in coming from the other side. We're going to get them tightened up right quick. Start pulling in these wires, getting them set in there right. Got a buddy named Doug. If he ever sees this, he's going to give me crap about my wire work. He's a journeyman electrician. And yeah, if he sees this, he will definitely give me some crap. Alright, so those two are in and locked down and ready to be connected. This is our feed, so it's going to come up and in. There, and then this will be the common here, which looks like I need to stretch it a little bit. Alright guys, it's the next day. I took the rest of the evening off last night, so I got one breaker in. I got the feed in from the other side and the compressor line in. I'm gonna go ahead and get the other 4 ones in for the outlets and the one in for the lights, and then be ready to plug this thing in and see if it works. So enjoy. Alright, so I got one little problem I gotta deal with. This wire right here is too short to go up to here, so I got 2 choices. I can either splice this in a box, and that's a big no-no. You don't have any splices in this box, according to my buddy. So I'm actually gonna, this is a short run outside for a RV plug for 110. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pull that out and run a new wire, because I've got wire. So I'm just gonna get a new wire, run it, do it the right way. So that's what we'll do now. Go get us a new wire and get it all run in. It's about the hardest plug I've ever had to pull out in my life. Alrighty, let's go pull it from the other side. There's our culprit piece of wire, and we're gonna go back with something a little more what we need. Let's do some 10-2. Alrighty, so you got the gold color, you got the silver color. Gold color is black. Always wrap it to where it matches your screws, so when you're tightening up, you're not tightening up against it. So when you lay that in there, you're going to fight with it a little bit. If you put a little bit of twist on it to where that's pointing down a little bit like that, it'll lay right in there like that, like so. I always put a little bit of bite down on it like that so it'll hang on. You don't have to go ham on these, just get them tight. So once you run into the bottom, just snug it up. Okay, this one here is going to go the other way, so we're going to turn it down. Be easy to get in there. Alrighty, there's that. We'll have room to put the kibosh on it, so we're just going to turn it down. Get it to the bottom right there, and then just a little more. Shorten this ground just a little bit. Alrighty. Put that bad boy in there. Oh, dadgummit, screwed it out a little too far. We could have just put some wire nuts in there, but it just took us a few extra minutes to do this, so I'd rather do it right than to take shortcuts and end up paying for it later with another fire. So black wire over on the other side. Get the thing setting about where it needs to be so you don't have to fight with it. There she is, all put back together. All we gotta do is slide the lid on. There we go. Alright, let's get that wire pulled in. Make sure we have enough this time. That ought to be enough right there. Cut it at an angle. Cut it at kind of an angle here. That way it's easier to start. These cutters are pretty daggone worthless. Alrighty, that looks a little bit better. We have very angry cows. They're mad at us right now. I don't know why exactly, but they are definitely mad at us. I can hear them bellowing. I know you've heard of happy cows. We do not have happy cows right now for some reason. If you guys have never heard an angry cow, that is an angry cow. So either they don't like the fact that they haven't got any sweet feed today. I doubt that they're low on water because we just filled it up. Or they're unhappy with the pasture they're in. So I don't know which one of those things it is, but we will have to alleviate it, or we will have to listen to angry cows, which is very, not frustrating, but very loud at times. Alright, we got one more big one to do here, and that's for the welding wire. This is our welding plug. It goes right in here. And I'll have to drill another hole in this though. We'll just go ahead and do that now. Alright, we've got the hole drilled in there. So now we can go ahead and get this ran. Go ahead and knock this knockout out. I don't know if that's a, I don't know how you'd say knock this knockout out. I guess that's just how you say it, knock out the knockout. That's why I'm glad this, oh, don't do that. Don't get in a hurry like I just did and pull out the wrong thing. Alright, got it. Thank goodness. Alright, here we go. Do-do-do-do. Alright, I need one more of those wire connector holders thingies. So let me go see if I can find one of those. Confucius said there's always a one more. There's one more. Alrighty, so now we're going to turn the lights off. So I gotta go find the flashlight. Alrighty, make the lights go out. Alright, here we go. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and do the, next we'll do the welder. I'm gonna make sure these things are really tight. so you don't end up having situations like we had that caused all this. I figured something got worked its way loose and it went high joint or high resistance open, and that's what caused our issues. So that high resistance open started taking that load from that compressor, it exploded. So we're going to make sure everything's good and tight. Good and tight is a German term. Good and tight. I believe that's good and tight. There's that one. Now the next one we're going to do, let's do our lights. You know what? Dummy me, I didn't hook my common up before I put that breaker in for the welder, so I get to fight with that now. Let's go ahead and do it now. Put it right there. Alright, there's our common for the lights. Hooked up. A little bit of extra slack, because we love a little bit of extra slack. Alrighty, that is in there, and all the breakers are off. Well, you guys probably can't see that. It looks a lot better than it did before. They're all connected, they're all long enough, they're all grounded, they're all bonded. I think the only thing I'm going to do now is run a ground wire to the earth ground. That way it's a shorter distance for the lightning to go. But for right now, I'm going to go ahead and call my buddy who is a licensed electrician and have him come over here and double check all my work. And then I will pick you guys back up once we get this close to being done. Alright, my beer buddy just left here, and he signed off on all my redneck electrical work. So let's take one more look at what we got here. So let's start throwing these bad boys and see if it's going to work. Alright, so first things first, let's try the lights. Alright, next one's these lights right here. Yahtzee. Alright, here's the one that blew everything up. That was the compressor. So let's cross our fingers and toes and see what happens. Oh, she lit off. Let's check, see if this outlet's working over here. Nothing. Alright. Maybe I don't have the breaker on. Oh, I don't have the breaker on. Let's try it now with the breaker on. Alrighty. So I think that's everything except the welder. I could try it, but I'm pretty confident it's going to work too. So, alright, y'all. So, got this all put back together. Real quick project. Just wanted to show you guys something. If you see any value in what we're doing here, or if you learned something from it, hit that, smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, and do me a favor right now and go share it with a friend. Alright, y'all, we got it all put back together. I'm going to get this board put back up here, get everything shoved back over here and cleaned up, and then we'll put it together and wrap this thing up. Good morning, everybody. Future me here. Just want to make sure you guys understand you can't be complacent when you're doing stuff like this. You don't need to be thinking about who's playing in the big game today or what mama's cooking for dinner. You guys got to be focused on what you're doing at hand. You don't ever want to take your eye off the ball and end up having something happen to you that happened to me here. I am not a professional. No, you got the... You record that? I'm about 2 parts embarrassed and 1 part mad here. But in the end, I'm thinking about, damn, that could have been bad. So learn from me. Make sure you got your mind on what you're doing and be safe. I want to show you guys this right quick. We got this put in, got the lid put on it. Unfortunately, it was not the breaker box that was causing the issue with the compressor. It was the compressor. The compressor motor dropped a leg and blew up the fuse because the fuse was old. So that's what did that. So now we got to work on the compressor. I went ahead and put in this box. So basically, it made our welder a lot more easy to get the plug in and out of. So this is my plug here that I plug in the plasma cutter and the welder to. That's nothing more than a fancy extension cord, and it comes off of this here. Then I have this plug here to run the Lincoln. It runs off of this as well. So that's kind of how I have that rigged up to run my welding situation that I have going here. I've got the ESOB and then the Eastwood all with the same plug. And then I have the Lincoln here. So the Lincoln is what I do all my stuff when I go and do stuff off. I'm running off a generator and stuff, and I use that. Or if I'm working on both sides of the big truck, I have the option to use that. So I'm not swinging welders around on both sides of the truck, because that thing, as you know, is 10 foot in the air. So I'm gonna keep getting everything together, get the shop ready, because I got another project we're fixing to start working on. So let's get this thing cleaned up the rest of the way, and we'll wrap this thing up. Alright guys, we got this part of the shop squared away. We've got the electrical back together. I want to reiterate that if you're not a professional electrician, or if you're not very handy with electrics and understand how they work, this is a real good way to get unalived or to burn your house down or something like that. But I did also have a buddy of mine come and take a look at everything that's certified and made sure that it was all put together properly. So this is all put together. We're ready for the next project, and we'll see you guys there. Make sure you're hitting like, subscribe, and sharing if this stuff is valuable to you, and then leave a comment if you don't like the way things look, or give me some advice on how to make things look better. I'll take it. So thanks, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. We're going to do the best we can to get the big truck back in here. It's cooling off a little bit, and I think we're going to get it in here and get after it soon. So thank you guys for keeping up with it, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. See you. Filming an outro. Filming an outro!